Welcome to another edition of Press Play. I'm your host, Tyler Coleman. And man, we got a jam-packed episode for you, so make sure you strap up your seatbelts. First of all, we're going to get into Devontae Smith. He wins the Heisman. College basketball, we're going to talk about who's been the best so far. And then finally, what I'm looking forward to the most, the Browns head coach and one of their best O-linemen will be out. We'll talk about how they're going to face and look against the Pittsburgh Steelers. We'll be back with more Press Play.
I'm Jamison Williams. I attend Cardinal College Preparatory High School in St. Louis, Missouri. I'm a wide receiver committed to the University of Ohio State. I see a lot of great things in Dr. Hayes. She get me loose when I'm running my routes. I feel agile. Also on the track, it's the same thing, so I'm really loose running my races.
I'm Dr. Connie Hayes with Fit for Life Sports and Rehab. If you want a competitive edge on the field, call me, 314-532-0957.
Welcome back to Press Play. I'm your host, Tyler Coleman. To the left of me, it's time to introduce our panel. And man, I'm telling you, I really do enjoy working with these guys. But all the way to the left, we got my man, Big Zelman Sanders. Big Z, how you doing today, big dog?
Good today, man. I'm ready to go.
Hey, we got some stuff to talk about.
Oh, you better say it.
And then right next to me, one of the most dapper guys out there, you know what I'm saying? He had to make sure he got cut right before. But so I don't call him Mr. NFL. I just call him Will Frank. How you doing today, man?
What's up, man?
Man, you ready to go?
We got to do it, though.
Man, let's get to it.
Yeah.
Devontae Smith, Heisman, wide receiver. That's something that's almost uncommon when we talk about college football, right? We're going to start with you, Will. Speak a little bit about what you've seen from Devontae Smith this year. Was he deserving of it? And what's your overall thoughts on him?
He's very deserving of it. This was a kid that, again, when Waddle went down, he stepped up for the Alabama crew. And to do the things that he did while playing special teams, like that speaks volumes. You know what I mean? You got a guy going out there, play after play, offensively, and still going running down on kickoff, still running down on punt return. You know what I'm saying? And punt. Like, that takes a lot of commitment to the game itself. But how you take care of your body to do that week in, week out. You know what I mean? In Alabama, they push their guys to the limit every week. So for him to be able to do that, it is very rewarding for me to see a receiver to get it, because the last one that got it was Desmond Howard. And he's been gone for how many years from college?
30 years.
That was since 1991. And you know what school we went to, though?
Big Ten.
Yes, man. That there, you know what I mean? Like, congratulations, young man. Like, that is huge from the receiver position, because there's a lot of great receivers out here, but the commitment he made for their team to do all the things that he did is deserving.
Hey, Z, I want to bounce it off to you. Since 2005, there's only been 2 non-QBs not to win it. Both of those were Alabama running backs, Derrick Henry and Mark Ingram.
Right.
Speak a little bit about the value that the wide receiver position brings, and does this shed a little bit more light on more Heisman to come at the wide receiver position?
I don't know if it does that. I think due to the year and certain guys like Trevor Lawrence not playing a game, or Kyle Trask, and then Justin Fields having a couple off games, it gave room for him. And then how likely would that have been if Waddle was there? His numbers probably wouldn't have been the same. So I think it was just a perfect storm. And like you said, to piggyback off that, you talking about a kid who's willing to do all that so he don't have the quote-unquote name that they give receivers, a diva. So that means he can come in and acclimate himself to any program. So I'm not just speaking from just Alabama. I'm speaking once he get into the league as a rookie. That means he put his head down and just work. Every team would want a receiver like that. He reminds me of Marvin Harrison. His build and how he come out, his breaks and everything. And he showed up in every big game regardless of Waddle not being there. He still did his thing. And they even tried the game plan for him, and he still met expectations and exceeded them.
One of the biggest things I think for me with Smith that makes him big time is the fact that he had 105 receptions with only 2 drops, 20 receiving touchdowns. Like, when we talk about that, that's game-changing. Right. And like you said, Jalen Waddle not being there, and for him to be able to step up and still be able to make plays. And if you remember, he's the guy that caught the game-winning touchdown in 2018.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So to bounce back and do that as a senior, that's crazy. So this poses my question for you guys. Alabama, is that wide receiver you?
No. No. They have some great guys come out there. I wouldn't say they wide receiver you. Nah. I ain't giving them that.
I mean, are you speaking in right now within the last, maybe 10 years?
Maybe 10 years.
Maybe so, but when I think about Alabama in its totality, I don't think about that. But as of now, within the last 10 to 5 years, you can give it to him.
So let me ask you this question. When you guys are speaking of Devontae Smith, where do you guys see him? What team do you think fits him? And what do you think he can bring in year one in the NFL?
It sucks with the draft how you have the worst to the best draft order. You know what I mean? So it's going to suck that he's going to land somewhere probably without a good quarterback. Right. So he won't be able to get into that system right away and, you know what I mean, have success. But there's also a positive to it because he's a guy that can do everything. Mm-hmm. So you get a guys coming in, if receiver ain't working out well, you know what I mean, he'll still be a gunner. He'll still go over there and do kickoff cover. He'll be a punt returner or kick returner. He's going to do something because he's shown the world, I'm just not a receiver. I do anything that's needed for a team. You know what I mean? So, you know, hopefully he lands in a great place where he can be him. You know what I mean? One of the things that Nick said yesterday about him was he's a great person. And you can't teach that. You know what I mean? Like, that speaks more volume than what he's done on the field.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that kid is going to have success whether it's on the field or off the field.
Yeah. I hope, because how the draft is, it's a possibility he may can land with a good quarterback because with all the other quarterbacks going into the draft, some good team probably could step up, trade, and somebody could trade back and get more picks, and he can land on a good team. So you just never know. He's in a position that with all the quarterbacks come in, he probably get to a place where he can actually show his talent and have somebody on the other side like Calvin Ridley with Julio. So you just never know. I hope so. But like you said, he's a good kid, come from a good family. So you ain't got to worry about it sometimes somebody calling saying that he done something dumb. Yeah, Jacobs.
Exactly.
Hey, the craziest thing about Smith being Heisman for me is the fact that it's showing us if you're not a quarterback and you play other position, the only chance that you're going to win the Heisman right now is going to Alabama. Thoughts on that? Because, I mean, since 2005, the only other guys that are non-QBs are Alabama guys, and he makes the third. Will, what you got to say to that?
Well, again, you know, they play guys to do everything for their team. Mm-hmm. Those guys play special teams as well. Yeah. You know what I mean? Now, the year that they became the Heisman, not so much, but throughout their career, you know what I mean? You seen that at Ohio State with Ezekiel Elliott. Yeah. When he started off as a special team guy. You know what I mean? We walked out that door, he was the guy. Yeah. You know what I mean? So when there's programs like that where you putting your best on the field no matter where it is.
Came out of nowhere, but
you know what I mean? You put your best on the field, athlete for athlete, that's why you have the success that you have like Alabama or Ohio State, the way they are able to produce pro athletes like that. But they athletes, you're going to learn to play special team. You work your way to a starting position, you become the guy, your future is what you make of it. But they put the best on the field, so I can't give Alabama that, but you know.
And see, I got a question for you, man. How long do you think it'll take for a wide receiver to win this Heisman again? What we've seen is 1991 was the last one before that. We're now in 2021, 2020 season.
Right.
When's the next one? It's a long time.
I'm thinking how the offense is opening up. I'm thinking it's going to be a receiver or quarterback thing every year because now they trying to really take the running backs out. So now a lot of running backs is becoming Alvin Kamara's and all that. Yep. So it's a possibility within the next 5 to 10 years you probably have maybe one or two because the offense is open. Desmond Howard, it was just him because he played special teams, ran off kickoffs and all that. So it helped. But now with how the offense is predicated and open, these guys finna be putting up astronomical numbers. All it takes is for a quarterback to have maybe 1 or 2 bad games, or you have a Mac Jones who's not looked upon as Justin Fields, so they kind of don't want to give it to him. Smith would have been who he was no matter where he went, but would Mac Jones have been there? So you give him the edge over a quarterback, and it can happen again within the next 5 to 10 years.
And then finally, we're going to do a quick rapid. I'm going to start with you, Will. What does he finish in the national championship? Receiving yards, catches, and touchdowns. What do you think?
I got him 10 for about $150, $160, probably 2 tubs.
See?
6, probably 89 yards. I think they're going to game plan for him if Waddle's not playing.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna game plan for him.
I think Waddle comes back, possibly. I also think that I got him for 7 catches, I got him for 120 yards, and I got him for 2 touchdowns. Yeah. But we'll be right back with more Press Play. When we come back, we'll be talking about college basketball and talk about what teams have been the most impressive to start off. So don't waste your time, but stay tuned with us, and we'll be right back with more Press Play.
Yeah, they are.
Jamison Williams. I attend Carnegie College Preparatory High School in St. Louis, Missouri. I'm a wide receiver committed to the University of Ohio State. I see a lot of great things in Dr. Hayes. She get me loose when I'm running my routes. I feel agile. Also on the track, it's the same thing, so I'm really loose running my races.
I'm Dr. Connie Hayes with Fit for Life Sports and Rehab. If you want a competitive edge on the field, call me, 314-532-0957.
Welcome back to Press Play, powered by 0 to 60. Now it's time to talk about college basketball. We got a couple teams that's been undefeated. Gonzaga 10-0, Baylor 9-0, Michigan 9-0. Gonzaga leads right now in the AP poll at number 1. Speak a little bit about what teams have been most impressive to you guys to start. I'll start with myself. I think Gonzaga has been very, very good. Jalen Suggs as a freshman has been good. They have the ultimate spacing. Mark Few's been legit. You know, people used to try to take shots at Gonzaga for, oh man, they ain't playing tough. No, this schedule has been rugged this year, and they've been everything that you want. So I'm gonna ask you guys, who's been the most impressive to you, and what have you seen so far?
I have to agree with you on Gonzaga. Those dudes are good, man. You know what I mean? And we all have watched that program over the last 5-6 years. Have good teams, but when a big dog or a true blue blood play them, it was like it was a mismatch. Yeah. And for the first time, I see a team just like, it doesn't matter who we play. We got just as much talent, just as enough toughness to compete with anybody in the country. And so to see what they're doing, and like, it don't even be close sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, they go play big boy basketball and make you play what they want you to play. You know what I mean? So I'm sticking with the Zags.
What's scary about it, of course, the Zags, is that they was doing a lot of this without getting quote-unquote 5-star players. So if they got Suggs and then he got hurt, it was a blessing he even came back, because that was a scary injury. They thought it was one of those freak, because he looking down like Kevin Durant, but he came back. Right, like, oh, man. But if they can win and actually go and make it happen, that can change the dynamics of the scheduling or the recruiting, because Gonzaga was those people that, like you say, the seniors and all that, so they made runs because they had camaraderie and they had been there a long time. You start getting 5-star recruits at Gonzaga, it's going to be a problem for a lot of the major schools.
The thing about Gonzaga that I think is really cool is I think they're going to get another 5-star next year, in 2021 Chet Holmgren. It's some crystal balls that are already showing he's the number 1 player in the 2021 class, if you ask me right now. If you've seen him against Imani Bates, he was big time. You know what I'm saying? He handled his business. But let's speak about who is the biggest threat to the Zags right now. And we'll start with you, Z.
I think I'm going to go with Shaka. I'm going to go with Shaka Smart. I think at Texas, he's been that team when he was at the other school that know how to get in, get to the Sweet 16 and everything. So he know what it is to be the underdog. And now he's finally working his program and bringing them to a prominence that they thought he would be when he was at the other school. And now that he's here, I'm seeing him. He know what it is to get his team focused under the bright lights, because now it's like the bubble. Everybody's just going to be in Indiana. It ain't all these going cross here and cross there. And now I think Texas is a team that can actually get them.
I have no solid pick for that because of the landscape of how the season been going.
For sure.
The COVID stops games, you know what I mean? So I can't get a good feel of what team actually poses a threat to them. I think COVID is their biggest threat. I don't think actually a team is a threat to them. I think they're well coached. I think the leadership that they have from player standpoint is on point, and that's the biggest piece of it all is just having true leadership from the players' standpoint. So you can tell that team has guys that they come in, they get shots in early. They have a routine on how to be good college players, and these guys buying into what the head coach is saying. So I think it's the elements that's their biggest threat, not so much of what they are doing. I think if they continue to do what they do, they're going to hit a peak in the tournament. I don't think they even got to the point where it's a curve yet. I think they would peak at the right time and play even at a higher level than what they're playing now come tournament time.
So let's speak about this as well, too. We need to talk about our local teams who've all been doing very well. You know what I'm saying? You got Illinois at 8-3. You got Mizzou at 7-2. You got SLU at 7-1. Speak about what team around the area would you consider is the best team? And we'll start with you, Will.
That's a tough one, but I'm going to stay home with Mizzou. With them knocking Illinois, that kind of knocks Illinois out the equation. SLU, they are playing well, but I think that the level of physicality that they played against LSU, they can give Mizzou a run, but it's the depth that bothers me with SLU. You know what I mean? Their bench is not as deep as it could be to make them make a deep push or say they're the best team in the area. Mizzou just has a bunch of older guys, man, and that there speaks volumes to how Conzo was able to keep a lot of them guys around who did test the waters in the NBA pre-draft process. But I think Mizzou is a better team right now as of today.
I got you.
Now, I don't think at the end of this rainbow that they will be. I think they will probably shoot themselves in the foot on their own with some of the things that I seen in last night's game. But I'm going to take Mizzou right now.
Zeke.
I mean, Big Ten, man. I mean, I like Mizzou. But like you said, you got a lot of older players that sometimes don't show up. You can't be a senior and been here 4 or 5 years, Jeremiah Tillman, and sometimes you don't show up. So with Illinois, they have more, quote-unquote, better recruits. So if we're talking about the coaches, it's like, does it really matter? Because even in the SEC is down this year. So is their competition as strong to have them prepared for the SEC championship tournament and then for hopefully that they make it to the big tournament? If I was to go with any team that'll beat as we predicting, I would only go with Illinois because right now Big Ten is stronger and has more competition. So if they can go through the gauntlet and come out, they 8-3 right now, maybe losing no more than maybe 3 or 4 games, I think that'll help them to learn about or be ready for more competition than Mizzou because it seems like the SEC is down this year in basketball.
Nobody being down.
I'm gonna say I wouldn't agree with it being fully down. You got Alabama with Javon Queerley. That's
You got
pretty
Alabama,
good.
you got Tennessee.
You got LSU.
You got LSU still
How many teams they got in the top 25?
Not sure. I got to count.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Big Ten got 7.
Yeah, and the Big Ten is a better conference right now for sure. They're deep.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. I'm gonna go a little bit aside from what you guys said. I think the best team is SLU. And the reason I say that is they have everything that makes sense. They got a true point guard. He ain't trying to do anything but get everybody else involved.
Right.
They have Javonte Perkins, who is the go-to scorer. You have Jordan Goodwin. He can guard your best player.
Right.
He's going to rebound at a high level. You got Hassan French, who's a dog down low defensively. You can throw it down there. He can get you that jump hook, things of that sort. Now, you spoke about the depth. I personally think SLU has a lot of depth. Gibson Jimerson, man, can shoot the ball. Demarius Jacobs has been big time for them all year long. And when I think about this SLU team and all these teams that we're talking about, is one common component. They're older teams. The older teams are succeeding right now in college basketball. And I'm going to throw something to you because we got to wrap up real quick. Final thoughts on, out of these 3 teams, who makes it the farthest? We'll start with you, Zeke.
I'm going to go with Illinois.
Mizzou?
MIZ.
And I'm going to go with SLU. But, like I said, hey, we all got different opinions, but it is what it is. But when we come back, we're going to get into some NFL playoffs, man. We got a divisional battle this week in the playoffs, and one of their head coaches of the Cleveland Browns, he'll be gone. Their old lineman, he won't be playing either. We're going to see how that affects them. But we'll be right back with more Press Play.
Just One Taste is moving on up. Located now in the heart of Florissant, 18 Patterson Plaza, serving the best chicken, fish, shrimp, tripe, and soul food sides. We also have catering and food truck services. And after one taste, you will be a customer for life.
Hello, I'm Simeon the Mortgage Man with Bank Midwest Mortgage. I have over 20 years of experience as a mortgage banker, and our state-of-the-art secure online mortgage center allows you to conveniently submit your application and documents online. Call me now at 314-485-9838 or apply online at simeonthemortgageman.com. Allow our family to help your family reach your goal of home ownership. Simeon the Mortgage Man with Bank Midwest Mortgage.
Welcome back to Press Play, powered by 0 to 60. It's time to speak about NFL football. Man, COVID-19 has already had an impact on it. Head coach from the Browns is gone. Pro Bowl offensive guard is gone. How does that affect them? I know I picked the Steelers, but you guys picked the Browns. Does that change anything for you? We'll start with you, Will.
No, I don't think it's going to change a lot with what they do up there. These guys are pros, and the turnaround they have had come from the top to bottom. So that's from head coach to OC, DC, special team coach down to the players. I think those guys are going to be pros about it, and it's going to be the next man up. You know what I mean? I think that the next guy who's been sitting over there, probably a practice team guy, going to be the backup to whoever the second string guard was, and they're going to roll. The head coach, you know, those guys in the NFL are truly not the play callers anyway. So whoever he designate to be the head coach at the time for the game, who's serving the game, they will be the one who have to make more of the decisions for him. But I think it's going to be the next man up, man. You're a pro. You're not high school kids. You know what's at stake. You either want to win or go home. This is where we are. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of money on the table when you're talking about playoff game. You know what I mean? When people don't know, you know what I mean? Like,
The incentives.
it goes up. You know what I mean? So it's just like, man, you want to keep going. You know what I mean? Because every round it goes up another notch. You know what I mean? So I can see a lot of these guys who've been struggling in Cleveland the last couple of years. Like, no, man, like I never tasted this kind of money. You know what I mean? So you know, so it's I think it's gonna be the next man up, and they're gonna be all right.
See.
I think it's going to be a problem. You talk about a Pro Bowl guard. Yeah. Well, you got to realize we know Baker Mayfield, that ain't taller than me.
Yeah.
And you got your Pro Bowl guard. Anybody, you would rather even have pressure on the outside. Mm-hmm. That's what makes Aaron Donald so good. You get pressure in your face, and he's not tall. He better hope they game plan to help that guard who's replacing his Pro Bowl guard. And it affects the run game. So how do you cover him up?
That's the beauty of it being a guard, because you can protect him. You know what I mean?
But how they run in the trenches, and they run some stretches.
You can double down on that. You know what I mean? You can inside zone. You know what I mean?
Cam
tackle is the position that you don't need to lose in a playoff
Cam
game.
Haywood is licking his chops. He can't wait.
Yeah, man, they're going to use the center to help whatever guard is over there now.
See, so that means somebody's one-on-one, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be a problem.
See, my question is this. With the special teams coordinators moving over to be their head coach, how do you manage the clock? Because that isn't something that you usually are. And I know they sometimes got guys in the booth as well that do that for them. Yeah. But I know some coaches also rely on themselves. Yeah. I just want to. How will that affect anything? You think?
For me, it's going to go back to the coordinators. You know what I mean? Like, they are really going to be. Yes, the special team guys been promoted as the active head coach, but he's just managing what it is. Right. Special teams, and he's probably going to do some time management. You know what I mean? But that's going to be on the offensive coordinator. You know what I mean? Because the defense coordinator got to take what he gets. The offensive coordinator got to be the one to manage the game, because you go out there throwing up 4 passes in a row, you know that clock stops. Yeah. You go out there and you run the ball, you playing in the favor of what you want to do. And they are good at running the ball with them 2 backs they got. You know what I mean? Tubbs. Yeah. And what's his name? Hunt.
And see, but I'm with you.
You use the clock that way.
But you talking about the head coach coming our first year, get him to the playoffs. He's a familiar face that's not going to be there. I don't want to diminish the head coach, even though, like you said, he really delegate.
Yeah.
He really delegates. So I know you definitely know how that works.
Yep.
My thing is not seeing him, a familiar face, and the one who's going to be there to calm him down.
Mm-hmm.
Can Baker Mayfield actually do that? Because the head coach was bringing him in and knowing, because sometimes he will override, like, no, we ain't going with that, because he is an offensive mind.
Yep.
So hopefully the game plan is there for them, but certain things, you know, it's like boxing. Yeah, I'm going to come out with this game plan, but when you start getting hit, you go to your ring, man, like, shh, man, what I'm going to do?
You don't pay coordinators to not be managers.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Coordinators are always the one next up for a head coaching job somewhere else. So they are prepared for these moments for these reasons, in order for them to succeed in their career individually. Yeah. So if they don't know how to manage this game without the head coaches being there, neither one of them will ever get a head coaching job.
Because Baker Mayfield is like Lil Mac on Mike Tyson Punch Out, and Kevin Stefanski is like Doc Lewis behind him, and Pittsburgh looking like Mike Tyson.
Hey, so speaking of Pittsburgh, they're 17-0 at home. They got the last 17 matchups against the Browns. First time the Browns been to the playoffs since 2002.
Yeah.
That's a lot of weight on Baker Mayfield's shoulder. Yeah. Is he ready for this moment?
The fact that kid has gotten him there,
yeah,
you know what I mean, and losing one of the best receivers in the game, you know what I mean, like, I think the kid will be ready for the game. And it's not like he never played in
big games.
Right. Like, he's played in big games. It's just not at the professional level.
Now, you mentioned the big-time receiver, so I'm going to throw this one to you, Z. When you're speaking of management, what do you think? Do you keep OBJ? What do you do? Because
you get some draft picks for him.
Okay.
It'll be smart.
Yeah, you take the pressure out Baker Mayfield feeling like he got to get him the ball.
I got to get you the ball.
Yeah.
Instead of reading his progressions and finding out who's open or taking what the defense gives you. A special player like that, I think you either get a Trevor Lawrence or something with OBJ, or you get a seasoned quarterback who could tell him if it's not coming to him, I ain't trying to hear it, but Baker Mayfield can't do that with Beckham.
We can't.
Get some draft picks for him and tighten up some things around y'all. That back end in the defense, get a better safety or whatever. Just tighten up some things, and I think they can go forward.
So real quick, of course, we got to do our little rapid real quick. I'm going to ask you, Z, we're going to start with you. What is the score? Does this change your pick?
No, it doesn't change my pick. I'm going, because I don't trust Pittsburgh. They can't really run. So I'm still going to go with the Browns. I'll say 24-21.
Okay.
I'm gonna take exactly what he just said. It's gonna be a good game, but I'm gonna still ride with my St. Louis guys over there in Cleveland.
I think that the Pittsburgh Steelers are gonna be licking their chops, just like you said. They know it's time to eat. I'm going to go Pittsburgh 27-21. I think they miss a field goal somewhere in there if something happens, but I got them 27-21. And I think it's going to be a game that's going to determine which quarterback can manage this situation when it's late. Because it's going to be a dogfight. You know what I'm saying? Now, the only thing I think the Browns can really hang their hats on, honestly, is if they can really punish running the football against the Steelers.
Right.
Then the complex.
Keep the offense on the sideline.
Yeah, change the game.
And I don't think their D-line is built for that.
Right. Well, man, this is another edition of Press Play powered by 0 to 60. I'm your host, Tyler Coleman. We got my man, Zelman Sanders. We got my man, Will Franklin. Hopefully we came and dropped some knowledge on you guys today. But like I said, man, this is Press Play. Make sure you come and tune back in with us tomorrow. We appreciate you. Good night.